What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay. We here with our guy Andy, man. He always joins me in with the intro, man. I absolutely love it. We're here to talk some NBA. Obviously, Andy is the prop god from over there at Wager Talk. Andy, how you been doing, my brother?
Oh, doing good, man. Doing good. Had a couple tough losses last night. Full disclosure, we loved Isaiah Stewart. Foot sprain after he started off real hot. What are you going to do? And then we got burned by the dreaded blowout where guys sit in the fourth quarter when they're just shy of their total. But it's all part of prop betting. So we don't have a ton of games, but we do have some very good quality games, which is what we're looking for.
Exactly, man. Let's get to it, man. We're going to go through the top 4 games on the card today. I like those glasses, Andy. I got to pull mine out, man. Unpackaging everything, just trying to get set up at the new spot. But it's all business. We still got business to handle here, guys. Let's get straight to it. The first game, we're going to the streets of New Orleans here, Andy. We have the Pelicans laying 3.5 points. Line open up at 2. It's up to 3.5 now for the Pelicans. Grizzlies getting back plus 3.5. Total sitting at 229 here. Maybe I'm pretty sure it's going to be some good props to find. This game it's a TNT game, the only national TV game that we have today. I know me personally, I'm looking for some Pelicans guys to have some good games in this one. Let's just put it like that. I like the Pelicans here, my brother.
Yeah, so we've got this one's going to be kind of tough because they don't have very many props out. They did, and now Zion is questionable, which kind of throws a little bit of everything off. If Zion is out, I think you can look at some rebounding props for the Grizzlies. Right now, they've only got props out for John Morant and Dillon Brooks. It looks like Desmond Bane is going to be out. So if Desmond Bane is out, you're looking at a lot of shots.
He's out for sure.
Yeah,
he's out for sure. Next 2 to 3 weeks, he'll be out. So Bane will be gone for a little while for the Grizzlies.
With the right toe sprain. I've stubbed my toe, but I don't know if I'd be out for 3 weeks. So I think you're looking at Dillon Brooks. I think it's a really nice one to go over his points. It's at 17.5. Maybe we get a nice soft line on Brooks as somebody's got to absorb all those Bane shots. I would look at Steven Adams. They got his point total really low at 6.5. And what you see with with Valanciunas is if they get down, that he just sits, or if the game script just isn't, he just sits. His minutes are really, really low, and they try and go small. And I don't know what they're going to do if Zion is going to be out. But if Zion is out and then you get some of these low minutes from Valanciunas, Steven Adams is likely going to control the paint. So 6.5, it's a touch juicy, minus 135 on DraftKings. But with Zion being questionable, I'm going with Steven Adams over the points. Low total here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Triple J could come back here as well, Andy, so they could throw things off. Obviously, if you want to take point props, if I'm the Grizzlies on points, on props on them, I'd be looking at Ja. Basically, other than that, I don't like them tonight. I think this team's getting smashed tonight. And to be honest with you, Andy, if Dillon Brooks' point total at 17.5, I might be betting that. I'd be taking the under on that shit, man. The guy is not a shooter. I mean, maybe he can get to the foul line, draw some calls.
Oh, you like the under?
He can get hot. Yeah, no, I'm not. I think Dillon Brooks is out there for strictly defense and to get foul. I take over 4.5 fouls for Dillon Brooks. I take that. Or to foul out, I take that. But 17.5, I don't see Brooks getting. I know the shots have to come from somewhere, Andy, but I don't think he's going off offensively versus this Pelicans team tonight, who are sound defensively across the board. Hopefully Zion can play in this game because he is kind of plays like the pseudo point guard for him most of the time. We know that CJ McCollum is a little under weather. That was a couple of days ago. Hopefully he's gotten a little bit better, get some chicken soup or whatever. But Ingram, I'd be looking at Ingram here, Andy. I'm not a huge prop guy, but I know matchup wise, I'm not sure who's going to stop Ingram out there. I feel like they have to put Dillon Brooks on CJ McCollum, right? They have to put him on McCollum because and they're also, I heard them say they're going to make Ja Morant guard tonight, so they could be tough as well. But maybe try to draw some fouls on him. Regardless, I'm looking at the Pelicans here with significance, guys. I bet this last night at -2. I still like the 3.5. I see a double-digit win by the Pelicans. So no, I don't like any props for. I think Adams could get over that 6.5 though. That's super low. But Brooks 17.5. I look at under in that one. But yeah, I like the Pelicans.
He's gone over the last 2 games.
Who they play? Who did they play? Watch this.
All right,
Who would
well,
they play? Some bums. No, look. All right, so look, Andy. Last game they didn't have Bane or Ja Morant, so it makes perfect sense why he would go over in that one. They still took the L in that one, but let me just see who real quick.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Oh man, come on
Who's
now.
not interested in guarding anybody?
It's crazy because they have good defenders and they just don't care right now. So, but yeah, this is a different team. The Pelicans have lost. This is interdivisional rival as well. They lost 3 matchups versus them last year, 3 blowouts as well. I'm sure the Pelicans going to come in here and smack this team up. So obviously, you guys know I don't bet props, so I'm on Pelicans here, -3.5. That's what I'm on. I like them early and often. Lean first quarter, lean first half, but I'm on Pelicans full game here, my guys. Let's go over here to the next game. Let's go to the streets of Dallas here. Where we have the Mavs laying 7 points here, Andy, up against the Clippers. Clippers are on a back-to-back, but they were off for a couple days before that. So do you think that the Mavs, is this too many points to be laying, Andy, or are you liking some props, maybe some Luka props in this one? What you like in this game?
Well, actually, we've got a really, really good spot on Paul George tonight. So I was on Paul George last night, and he comes up just short. Paul George started off the game 0 for 7. His point total was 26.5. So he starts off 0 for 7. He gets all the way to 20. He gets up to 22 points in the third quarter. The game's about a 10, 12-point game.
Oh,
and so he sits for the first half of the fourth quarter, and they bring him back in. And what happens? The Clippers bench just crushes, and they get up by like 20, and he never enters the game. So Paul George last night only played 29 minutes in a back-to-back. So he's not going to be very tired. And he had 22 points when he didn't play in the fourth quarter, and he started off 0 for 7. Yeah. So when I look at those stats, I think, wow, this is a great spot for him. The books have lowered his point total by 23.5. That's an aggressive move. It was 26.5 yesterday. It's 23.5 today. That's 3 points on a game he didn't play 30 minutes, and he had a really bad start. Dallas is pretty good against small forwards, but I don't know. Paul George sometimes plays a small forward. Sometimes he's a facilitator, and he looks like a guard out there. So I think sometimes we get a little caught up in the stats against positions. Dallas is terrible against power forwards, but I think this is a really, really good spot for Paul George. And then something else that we've been noticing with the Clippers is the status of John Wall really affects Reggie Jackson. When John Wall does not play, Reggie Jackson sneaks over his points, rebounds, and assist total. When John Wall is in there, he goes under, like almost every time. So when you're looking at Clippers games, this is going to be a sneaky one for most of the season. Just take a look at the John Wall status. If John Wall doesn't play, go look at the number. You might take a Reggie Jackson under. If John Wall's out, Reggie Jackson seems to be going over. So the Clippers, we got a pretty clear path to some props I like on this one. Luka, I mean, it's like, can they put the point total high enough with this guy? I don't know what to do with Luka. It's 32.5. I mean, this is Joel Embiid numbers from last year when Embiid was going crazy over there. I guess it's a stay away, partly because it's such a high number. Everything has to go right for him to get over. But at the same time, I'm not taking a Luka under at this point. Simple. So I feel like I got a pretty good read on Paul George. That's my favorite one, this one, and then also the Reggie Jackson.
And then my guy in the chat says, how we feeling about Spencer Dinwiddie over 17.5 points? He's gone over that number 5 of the last 6 games. What do you think about that one, Andy?
I like Spencer Dinwiddie over. It's a really good spot. He's gonna have some pretty good matchups against kind of some weaker guards on the Clippers. They're not very good on the perimeter. They're middle of the road. They're okay, but they're not great. He has been playing really, really well. And I don't know what the Clippers are going to do to try and guard Luka. Do they put Paul George on him? If they do, that's probably their best defender outside of Marcus Morris, but Morris. But Morris isn't going to be guarding Luka at any point. So Dinwiddie's been really solidifying himself as a really good option. I love when guys have really horrible shooting nights and coming back to them after a bad shooting night. You look what Spencer Dinwiddie did against Brooklyn. Horrible night. 1 for 8 from the field. He scored 2 points. What's he done the next 3 games? 29, 33, and 20. So sometimes as prop bettors, I think we get scared when a guy has a horrible shooting night. The next night or the next few games, just expect him to get back to where he was. before that, and his shooting percentage, sure enough, has gone back up. So Spencer Dinwiddie, he's getting a lot of volume. He's at 11, 17, and 19 shots, and he's shooting the ball really well. So I think it's a great call on Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, that was a look from my guy there in the chat. For me, the way I'm looking at this game, I'd be looking for plus a 7 here. These two teams have played close, obviously, ever since going back to the bubble, man. These two teams have bad blood. It's going to be a close game, in my opinion. So I think, obviously, the Mavs have the rest advantage. They were off for 2 days. Clippers, they did have 2 days off before that game versus the Rockets. I mean, it's not like they had to play, like they had to go balls to the wall. It was an easy game versus the Rockets. They were up most of the game, blowing them out. It was a pretty simple game, in my opinion. So Clippers didn't really have to exert a ton of energy last night. I'd lean Clippers plus a 7. I believe that's the right side in that game and that one, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah, where we have the Jazz laying 5 points in this one, Andy. I'm sure there's going to be some good props here, maybe some good 3-point props here. I want to ask you some questions because the Jazz, they kind of get back to what they were doing a couple years ago, shooting a ton of threes and then making playing a lot of great defense as well. This is their first game back at the house from a long East Coast road trip, but the Knicks just aren't playing defense right now. Marketing should go bunkers once again. I wouldn't be surprised if guys like Clarkson hit their 3-point props as well. But the Knicks, this is a game that probably goes over. Knicks aren't playing a ton of defense. Obviously, they're basically trying to beat people with their offense. That's what I'm seeing. Guys like Brunson, we know he's not the greatest defender anyway. So it feels like Thibodeau's pretty close to getting fired, in my opinion. So I can see this game going over. What do you think about any? I know you said some Julius Randle. What you think about any props for the Jazz side or any props in this game?
Oh, Julius Randle burned us the other night. We had his point total over, and he missed it by half. He went 0 for 7 from threes in that game. So just one made 3-pointer, and we cash it. So, I think Randle's in a really good spot, but my worry with him is that the Jazz have ramped up their defense, especially against the power forward position. Mm-hmm. The thing with Randle is he's getting a lot of volume, and you cannot ignore these guys that get huge volume. So, if he hits a few 3-pointers, he's probably going to go over because it's only 20.5. But you said it about Jordan Clarkson. It's interesting. They have put this line on 3-pointers at 2.5, and he's made exactly 3 games in a row. Damn. But the books have juiced it. So I think they are taking into account how bad New York has actually been defensively. So I don't know if I can actually lay that. I do like RJ Barrett over his threes. I think the Jazz have struggled against guards. They've been much better against bigs, which is kind of surprising. And Markkanen has cooled off a little bit the last couple games against Washington and Philly. He's scored in the mid to higher teens, 15, 17 points. Before that, 32 and 23. So I think it's a good bounce back spot for Markkanen against the Knicks, exactly. Who, like you said, have been bad against bad against defense. So his point total, let me look it up right here, Jay, real quick. And
I was just going to say one thing.
I was going to say that. 19.5. He only needs to get to 20, which against the Knicks, just very uninspired, I guess. Just kind of lazy, not dialed in. Just kind of a sloppy, messy defense. So I would stay away from Jordan Clarkson on the threes, but Markkanen should have a 20-point game.
And the reason why he was probably starting to run out of the gas on the tail end of that road trip. So back at the house, a little bit of rest. It is 30-4, and they had to. I don't have anything on the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Markkanen did have a good game. He is definitely he's the guy that makes their team go, in my opinion, though. So definitely be looking at. What do you think about Conley threes? Just because I know he's been like spotting up in the corner over there. Teams that they'll be driving in and they'll kind of kick it out there to Conley. What is his threes at?
Let's see. Conley's threes is only 1.5, but it's minus 190.
Damn, that's why I don't play, bro. Man, what?
Silly. Why just put it at 2.5?
Just put it at 2.5, man. Oh my God, that is crazy right there. I'm not letting any props at minus 190, guys. No. So, but yeah, that's a great game, good game to watch. Don't be surprised if Thibodeau is fired pretty soon, guys. Like if the Knicks get blown out in this one, I'm pretty sure he's pretty close to get fired. They got to do something. I'm not sure that's going to help, but I do think he's losing a grip on this team, and you can really tell he's a defensive coach. They're not playing a lick of defense there, so wouldn't be surprised if Markkanen got the job done on his props there. Last game up here, Andy. We're going to the streets of Sacramento here. We have the Kings Kings land 2 points versus the Brooklyn Nets. Nets been playing some really good defense. Number one defensive team over the last 5 games. They got obviously Vaughn coming there preaching defense, and it's working, guys. So I think the Nets can going to come out here and try to lock up the Kings in this one. Definitely, I'm not sure who's going to stop KD in this one for the Kings on that side. They don't really have a ton of paint protection as well. I know that Sabonis, they're not the best at guarding centers. I know you probably like some Sabonis props, Andy, but on the other side as well, I think KD can get whatever he wants in this game. You like any props here?
Yeah, you said it. The Nets just stunning turnaround with their defense. I didn't think they had it in them. It's kind of weird. Like Kyrie's gone, Nash is gone. Both of them to blame for the horrible defense. I don't know if it's a cumulative effect or anything. I am keeping my eye. I'm looking at the latest on Claxton. Claxton is probable, so that really, really helps. So now I'm looking at Domantas Sabonis unders. If Claxton's going to play. So Domantas Sabonis is coming off some huge games, but those were predictable against Golden State, one of the worst teams against centers. His number is going to be inflated tonight. He's been playing really well, but I would lean towards the under because he's had such a cake schedule. And you said it, Kevin Durant. I mean, it looks like Keegan Murray may have to be in charge of guarding him. I would expect, I would expect a big game from Kevin Durant. I would also look at his assists because one thing we've seen from Durant now that Kyrie's out, he has these spots where he does a really good job being a facilitator. And if he's getting wide open shots against the defense, that also probably means other guys are going to be wide open. And KD's actually gone under 30 points several times here in the last couple games. He's kind of teetering on that edge where he's 26, 27 points. So if he decides to be a facilitator, don't be surprised if he goes flying over his assist total. So it might be a good spot to look at his points, rebounds, and assists. If he goes over his points, he's probably going to get his points, rebounds, and assists. But yeah, I'm not really sure where Sacramento's going to come up with a way to stop them. And if you're also buying into the Brooklyn Nets defense, which I am, I would look at Harrison Barnes unders. He's been underwhelming for more than just this season. And so Harrison underwhelming Barnes. So guys like that who you can see have good to decent games against bad defensive teams, they kind of crawl into a shell and really, don't do much against these good defensive teams. So it may be pretty easy for them to lock them up. So I'm looking at Sabonis and Barnes on the under. I'm a believer in the Nets defense, especially now that Claxton is going to be able to play. It's another big body to throw at Sabonis. But yeah, you're dead on. Durant should have a big game.
Yeah, and be nice if Simmons could get in there as well because they're going to need somebody to slow down Fox. Fox has been absolutely going off. My guy in the chat liking Fox over 24.5 points. Couldn't talk you off. When he's definitely going to get to the line. He's definitely going to have a lot of volume. The ball's in his hands the whole game. And if he just doesn't choose to pass it, which he does a lot, and try to go in and draw fouls, that's what he does. He definitely could get over that. But like I say, I'm looking at the Nets in this one. I bet Nets in the first half in this one, basically plus the 1. You could take the money line. It's plus half, plus the 1. Whatever. I like the Nets to have the lead at the half in this one. Obviously, on these late East Coast team on the West Coast, late night, it can turn into somewhat of a sleepy spot. So if I'm betting the Nets here, which I am, I'm going to take them early. So give me Nets first half. Couldn't talk you out first quarter. I couldn't talk you out full game as well. I just kind of like to stay away from because it really turns into a sleepy spot. So Nets first half for me. Andy's looking at maybe some Sabonis PRAs and maybe what'd you say? You said
Harrison Barnes. Both of them looking under. I believe in the Nets defense and what I'm seeing right now. Coaching matters. They've obviously changed, and it's not a 1-game sample size like you said. And I mean, number 1 through 5 games, they were a bottom feeder. This is a miraculous turnaround. They have the rest.
He's preaching a whole new defensive scheme. It's not even Kyrie because this goes back like 6 or 7 games now. That's why I'm taking the first half as well. They're 6-2 against the spread last 8 first halves. So for whatever reason, they've started to really come out here with emphasis in early on in these games. And it's the exact opposite under Nash. They were coming out getting down and had to try to come back. So looks like Vaughn is coming there really preaching defense. And what I'm reading is what KD is saying that it's about the defensive scheme. It's obviously they've had the same guys there, but the scheme has changed and they're really buying in, man. So I mean, they have some defenders over there as well. But yeah, give me Nets first half and that way, my guys. We're gonna go ahead. I broke down that Spurs Blazers game. If you'd like to go check out the first video, we're gonna skip that game today, my guys. But now let's get over here to some free picks as we always do. First, man, we got a quick word from our guys over at Wager Talk from Ruby with the special commercial here.
Up 192 units over the past 365 days, Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit sit at number 1 and number 2 in NBA profit combined. Sitting in number 1 is Ralph Michaels at 107 units, and right behind him in number 2 is Akeem Profit picking up 86 units. For a limited time, you can get 7 days of NBA picks from both Ralph Michaels and Akeem Profit for only $69, coming out to less than $10 per day or less than $5 per day per handicapper. This special discounted price includes all NBA client releases over the next 7 days, including any rare 5% NBA best bets, generally priced at $35. You don't want to miss out on this 2-for-1 from our number 2 and 1.
You do not want to miss out on that 2-for-1 special over there. We got great guys. Andy as well here. Andy is the prop guy, guys. Obviously, we don't do a lot of props on this show. So if you like, go check out the prop guide over there at Wager Talk. My guy Andy here. What you got going over there at Wager Talk tonight and any free pick for us today?
Yeah, I got 2 plays up, and I'm actually going to use one of them for my best bet here. So this is a client play over at Wager Talk. We're doing really, really well. NBA is off to a good start. Our NFL 5% plays, Jay, just keep hitting every week. We hit Justin Fields over his rushing in the first half, which is always great. So if I'm being honest about where we're seeing the sports really good, it's these big NFL plays. I mentioned him earlier. Paul George is a client play. It's a perfect bounce back spot. We went over it earlier, how he played no minutes in the fourth quarter, so he's rested. He had 22 points in limited minutes last night and a terrible shooting performance. I don't expect that. He even missed a tech free throw last night. Yes, he missed a tech. So it's a perfect rebound spot for him. The books have lowered this line down to 23.5. And as good as defensively as the Mavericks have been, I just don't see them holding Paul George down. I look for a good shooting night, and it's a great rebound spot when the books have over adjusted. So Paul George is one of the client plays. If you want the other one, it's up at Wager Talk, only $9.
Look at that. My guy Andy giving you one of his plays that he has today, man. Paul George over. I couldn't talk you off that as well. I'd lean Clippers +7, didn't bet it. Only 2 plays for me today, guys. I'm going with the Nets in the first half, +1 in that one. And then I'm going with the Pelicans as well, -3.5. You can wait for Zion if you like, or Triple J. I feel like even if the Zion is in and Triple J comes back, it's at least going to maybe go back down to 2. So you can wait on it, or you can bet Pelicans now -3, 3.5. I think they win the game by double digits. So let's go. Let's fly tonight, my guys. And let's also turn this into a Nets world. Let's get this cash, man. It's Us Against The Bookies. Also still have shirts as well, man. $10 off. You can use promo code WIN10. You got until 12 o'clock tonight, guys. Use promo code WIN10. Go hit the website, jmoneyismoney.com. It's Us Against The Bookies, Smack City. Let's get some cash shirts, guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your time. Hit the like button, subscribe. Go check us out at Wager Talk as well. You can follow me on Twitter at jmoneyismoney. You can follow Andy as well at Bump Sports. We out, my guys. Let's get this cash. Back tomorrow.